Hi everyone, we're down here sitting by the water just trying to get a bit of fresh air after everything with yesterday. It was a crazy day yesterday. My voice is really battling because we got a huge amount of spray from the fire extinguisher that one particular officer put up the pole, so I still am kind of struggling to breathe properly, and my I'm just going to move that over to the side, and my whole chest and stuff is still full of this like dust stuff, so it's pretty intense. But thankfully Dad's okay. Dad's really good. We had a good chat. He said that the guys that he was obviously arrested alongside were really lovely to him, and they all had good chats about everything. And he said it was interesting because out of everyone that was in there, they were all about the same age as him, 50s, 60s, never been arrested before in their lives, and now they're all sitting there going, how bad is our country and what state is our country in when we're all sitting here. And someone said, well, you've infringed on other people, rah rah rah, and it's like, well, how much of an infringement on our Bill of Rights is the COVID Health Response Act? It's a complete infringement on people's rights. So, sorry, there's just a car going past here. So it was really interesting. He said that the officer that was he was holding the line with the officer behind him was kicking him a lot, and he's looked pretty sore and pretty tired. But outside of that, he's in good spirits and he's doing well, which is awesome. So I wanted to touch on a few things today. Obviously, people are quite upset about me saying that the police officers had set the fire, because initially I didn't say that. Initially I said that it was the guys in the corner because that's who I thought it was, and then I got a whole lot of messages, because keep in mind we were covered head to toe in this horrible fire extinguisher dust stuff. We couldn't really see, we had these thick goggles on, so I'm just trying to say what I can see in that moment. And then I got a whole lot of messages from other independent media that were saying, no, that's not right, Chantelle, it was actually the officers. They kicked over a generator, one of the power generators that's powered by fuel, and then the tent fell on it, and then that's what caught fire. And there was a medic that was interviewed by Lingo Louis, and that's what he said he had seen. And so I said, okay, well, I must be wrong then. It must be the police that actually did it and not the original guys that I thought, which was in the corner. And I'm happy to be wrong. Doesn't worry me in the slightest, because we're live, right? It's 6 hours of unedited live footage, and I've said multiple times before in lives that it doesn't matter what I say during the lives. You guys actually get to see it for yourself. So it doesn't matter my perception of it, and obviously if you're watching it at home, you might actually see more than I do, because as the camera moves, you guys will be sitting at home, be able to go back and see little things, and if you're a person and you're reacting instantly in that moment, it is very different. So yeah, I'm fine with it, doesn't worry me in the slightest, and thankfully heaps of people posted up footage after that post today, and we've been able to see that it definitely looks like it was those guys in the original corner. And then those other people that I said were Antifa type people, and Antifa obviously claimed that it was them that was setting the fires as well. So that was really interesting to see, and I'm not surprised. I mean, the whole entire thing was absolutely mental. I'm just really glad that no one was killed, and everyone seems like, outside of maybe broken bones, people are largely okay. There were some reports of some children that had been killed. Apparently there were children inside their tents in the morning when the police came through, but I've not been able to confirm any of that, so I think that all of that is just probably straight off the rumour truck. There is a man that we're really wanting to help, and he was arrested by the police. They said he was arrested for domestic terrorism because he was carrying a spear gun, because he'd actually gone and caught a whole lot of kina, that's the word for the fish, caught a whole lot of that for everyone and dropped off at camp, and he was going back down with his spear gun and his flippers and the whole lot to catch more fish, and they arrested him on domestic terrorism charges, having, I'm guessing, the spear gun, which is ridiculous because he was clearly fishing with it. So we're wanting to make sure he's got good legal representation, but we don't know his name to actually get him that legal representation. Dad did talk to him in the cells, but he didn't get his full name. So if anyone knows who that man is, if you can please message me, get us his name, and we're going to get him really good legal help, because we think that is absolutely ridiculous. No one should be charged for that when they're just trying to fish, and obviously the police are just fishing on their own terms for something there. It's so funny seeing the mainstream media react to our live streams. They are going mental. You've got the spin-off of Losing It in TV1, and all these places are so upset that we are doing constant live streams that are showing all the angles that they won't show. And the reality is that you're just highlighting their own hypocrisy back to them when they are saying, no, you're not allowed to do these full long lives and have an opinion. You're only meant to do this tiny little bite-sized news pieces that are cut and edited to perfectly suit the narrative that the government want. And so when we're sitting there and we're doing 6-7 hours of non-stop lives, and everyone can see it for themselves and make up their own judgment, they obviously don't want people to have their own perception. They want there to only be one given narrative and everyone to go along with that and everyone to agree with it. So it's interesting seeing them react, and I have to say I think it's about damn time that people in New Zealand are able to make up their own opinions and they're allowed to question me. That's all good. I have been more sensitive to blocking people in the last day just because it's covered in tear gas. My dad was arrested and people were saying horrible things, and I'm still human and I'm still the only one that runs my page at the moment. So I will get other people in to help monitor stuff so that I don't have to see it, so then I can just leave comments all the time and it doesn't matter. But in that first 24 hours, it's just been a really emotional time. I'm really tired. We've been 23 days into this, trying to get as much as we can. The police were waking people up at, midnight, 2 a.m, 4 a.m, and then 4 o'clock the next day. It's like people are just absolutely on edge. You're terrified. It's constant. Yesterday I was even helping reporters get out of the fires and things like that because they were terrified as well. Their faces were absolutely terrified. So I was helping them down. And that's just what it's been like for people that have just been scared of the police over the last 23 days. I am amazed at the hatred that some Kiwis have for other Kiwis. And I'm just like, man, think about where your hatred comes from. It only comes from the mainstream media. That's why you hate other New Zealanders. It's just because of what the media has shown you. It's not because of your own perception of those people, because you don't actually know them. You haven't come down to the protests. You haven't spent any time with them. So you're just perpetuating hatred based on nothing, based on the mainstream media's tiny little bite-sized slivers of information that they're sending you that are inaccurate. So that's been really sad and really disappointing. I just thought New Zealanders were better than that. Dad did say that there were a lot of police that seemed really happy and really laughing a lot about the efforts, annihilating and brutalising members of the public. So that's pretty disappointing as well, that officers would be blatantly so excited to hurt people, but I don't know, maybe they just don't usually get to put on riot gear very often, right, and attack 60-year-old grannies that were in the front line. I don't know. It's definitely changed my perception of how I see a lot of officers. I don't think all of them are bad, not at all, but I think there's obviously a large amount that are happy to go with whatever they're told and not to question anything. And I think critical thought needs to be taught more in New Zealand than critical race theory. We all need a bit more critical thought in our plans next. We've got a lot that we're working on with the team at the moment, so that's going to be really exciting. If anyone else needs help after this as well, please reach out and let us know, and we're going to do our best to help you. We are going to be all heading back to our homes and regrouping, and going to start doing a lot more in this media space, and a lot more of this stuff moving forward will obviously not be live because we're not in the middle of a huge protest that people want to see every day. So a lot more of that kind of stuff will be a lot more podcasts and whatnot, where we can hopefully interview some really cool guests for you guys. So it's all coming up. I'm really excited. I think there's going to be great change. And as a last note, I would like to just say the biggest thank you to all of the kind-hearted, good, amazing New Zealanders that we met over the last 23 days. I mean, far out. There was some love and support flowing from all parts of New Zealand, all different types of people, all different backgrounds. Sorry, it's quite windy, typical Wellington. Just looking out for everyone that was at the protest, and there was just a whole lot of people that were so genuine and so kind. So I just want to say a massive thank you to them. Thank you to all the groups that came to try and look out for everyone as well, like VFF, Freedom and Rights, all of these different groups that came together under the one banner of freedom and democracy, which was so cool to see. Thank you to everyone that sent in food. People turned up with all this fish and hams and cooking equipment and power generators and, everything, every little last bit. So thank you guys for being just the kindest, sweetest people when we met you, and for clearly showing so much love and compassion to your fellow New Zealanders. You guys are amazing. Obviously less of a thank you to the people that decided to try and turn things into really violent extremism. However, at the same time, far out, people have been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, that it was just like watching this kettle, about to explode by that point, when you've seen, all these wee old people getting pepper sprayed and pounded in the head. But there was also definitely some extremists, like I talked about in the live yesterday, that I don't believe were genuine protesters at all. They weren't people that I recognised, and I've been there for 23 days, and maybe some of them were, I don't know, but there was definitely some that I was like, where did these people come from? And as we saw, Antifa did post up that some of them were them. Whether or not we'll ever be able to truly confirm that is really up in the air. But if anyone does have any information on any of those people that we were talking about, send it through, because we would love to take a closer look at any of that. So thank you guys, you're all wonderful. If you like mainstream media, keep watching them, keep getting your narratives fed to you. And if you like seeing the other side, jump on board some of our pages. All right, have a great night, everyone. Hope you guys enjoy your beautiful, beautiful sunny day if you're Wellingtonian, and anywhere else, hopefully we'll get to come and visit you guys soon.